guys so much for clickety tappity the video. Sorry, my ear sucks. Also, I'm in a different setup right now, so hope you don't mind. Alright, so with the first movie we have Paranormal Activity 4. We have the DVD for part 4. Actually, this is one of my favorites from the 5 installments of Paranormal Activity. I love part 1 and part 4, this one. Not only because I have I had a crush on her, Catherine Newton, and also I just love the vibe of this one. I feel like they started the movie. So if you're not familiar with Paranormal Activity, it's a different, it's a horror movie, but they executed it differently. So it's more of like a POV, personal point of view, and it's more of like vlogging style and a mixture of security cameras and all that. So it really feels real and raw, and I feel like that's what they're trying to evoke to the audience. Not my hair though. All right, so with this movie, I feel like they started the movie during Halloween. So yeah, it was Halloween, and it was really like the vibe of it is perfect. In October, and with all with every Paranormal Activity, I feel like they just start off the movie having like a low type of energy. Don't be fooled though. Don't be fooled, because like the build up is very intense. If I'm going to rate this movie, I'll probably rate it like 8 over 10. As you can see though, there's like a black figure over there while she's sleeping, and in the back, look at that. Look at that. So you better find this in the internet if it's not on Netflix. I don't know where is it available, but if you have watched it, tell me what you think in the comments. I'll probably give it a watch again this October. Alright, so for the next one we have, this was literally been released like 10 years ago, Drag Me to Hell. Look at that poster. That's really creepy, right? Look at that. Not just creepy, it's really scary. It really says what the title is suggesting, Drag Me to Hell. So this is the uncut version, because this movie is kind of very vulgar, explicit. Is that how you say it? It says here, from Sam Raimi, director of Spider-Man and Evil Dead trilogy. So I can really feel that this is mostly inspired by the Evil Dead. There's like 80s version of the movie, but I feel like I know that it was like a new version of it was released last 2013, so you better watch that too. But with this movie though, like a little backstory, I feel like the last time I watched this was like 8 years ago, but I can still remember it. So the story revolves around this woman and curses. A curse. So this woman, I feel like I don't want to spoil everything, but I'll just tell like a little, like, what do you call that? Like a little bit of story. So this woman, she works in a state company or something, like something that handles properties. Something, yeah, properties. And there's this old lady that came into her office asking if she can take back her own property, if I'm not mistaken. But this lady refused to do so, even though she can, just because she's very close to being promoted, and she doesn't want to take any risk with her job, because might disqualify her from getting the promotion. So she turned down the request of the old lady, and then by doing that, consequences arise. I don't want to get into detail, but after that scene, if you're going to watch this, after that scene that I told you, you better brace yourself because it's it's really like thrilling. It's suspense and it's horror. It's a mixture of everything. I feel like they also showed different black magic culture, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the back of the movie. Look at that. That's the old lady that I'm talking about. And if you also you have to um, ready your stomach, something like that, because it might be a little gross. But I'll rate this movie like 9/10. 9/10. You have to watch up until the end. You promise me if you're going to watch this, you watch up until the end because yeah, it's a really good watch movie for Halloween. I have here like 5 DVDs. So the next one is, I feel like this one's your favorite, Coraline. So let's take it back. Those two movies are really intense. Let's like pull it back a little bit and watch Coraline. If you're not familiar with Coraline, it's a stop motion film um, from Laika, and it was from the directors of The Nightmare Before Christmas. So yes, that kind of vibe. Um, Coraline, that was really really special to me because I've watched this like more than 50 times since we got this DVD. We got this in 2010, but I feel like they released this in 2009, and I was like 7th grade or 6th grade at that time, and every time we go home, we just watch this straight up. So even though it's a stop motion film, I don't feel like it's solely for kids. Some kids are terrified to watch this movie, but we loved it so much. It's actually based off a book, but there you go. Look at her; she's really cute. Kind of reminds me of my sister when she was in grade school. She kind of looks like that. But this movie, though, if you're not familiar with, look at that. There's like a button there, and it's like I just love the overall design and how they did it. There's like a cat. There's like 2 houses. I'll explain to you later. So, a little backstory, a little story about this movie, a little tiny bit of a story, not too much of a spoiler, but Coraline and her family moved out of their home, and they found this apartment. It's the Pink Palace Apartments, and just like any other apartments, you have neighbors. So the Pink Palace is like a whole house. It's really an old house. The house is 150 years old, but since it's really big, the people that live there, like the people that owns the house, just decided to like partition the house. Partition every part of the house that could be like a certain apartment for someone, and so Coraline's family got like the main part of the house. When she was exploring the house, she found a little door on the wall, and she asked her mom to open it for her. But when they opened it, nothing's there. It's just like a wall, just like nothing. But here, after like a few nights or something, starts to be like magical, or it became like a portal to the other side, to the other world, where the other world is like it's like the upside down in a way, but you have other mother, you have other father, you have like different versions of the people around you, or a thing around you, or an animal around you, which is really weird. Coraline's parents there in the real world are very busy at work. They don't have time to talk and all that, but on the other side, they're very engaging. And so she met her other parents there, other friend, YB, other everything, other house. Everything seems perfect, but one thing though, one thing's really weird. Every person that's in there have buttons for eyes. Buttons for their eyes. Buttons as eyes. What's the correct term for that? But they use buttons for eyes. And yeah, I'll stop on that because this one's like our favorite. It's one of the best movies of all time. I'll never get tired of watching this. Probably watch this later tonight, tomorrow night, or something. But I'll give this 10 over 10 since I love Coraline so much. If you're down to watch something like stop motion, creepy type of movies, Tim Burton movies, Coraline is for you. The next one that we have here is The Possession. Look at that. This movie, though, I haven't really watched it for a long time. I feel like the last time I watched this was around 2012. I feel like these DVDs, we got this last, like a few years ago, 2012. I feel like it, so I've watched these movies, like 8 years ago. About Possession, though, I feel like this is about, this girl got a box from a garage sale. From a garage sale, and that box is an antique box. You know what's with antique stuff, right? Some horror stuff. And so that box is possessed. I'm not gonna spoil everything, but as you can see by the poster, something's going outside of her mouth. I feel like those are moths. The Possession is lives up with its title, so it's an actual possession. So you better get ready with some key stuff, demon stuff. There's like devil stuff right there. Possession, taking away like a spirit or something. It's really, really intense, especially some parts before the ending. You better watch this movie if you're into that kind of stuff. To Possession, I'll rate this like a 7.5 at least, maybe. Look at that. Yeah, I feel like they play this, and I've watched this one time on TV. They played it on TV, and so the last DVD that we have here is this one's like I love the design of it. I'll show you. It's look at that. It's 13 ghosts. 13 ghosts. 13 ghosts. 13 ghosts. Look at that. I just love this DVD because it's different from the rest that I showed you. Look at that. has a scary, scary poster. Misery loves company. Misery loves company. Well, I've watched this like a few years ago too. I've watched this as a child with my family, and I was terrified. I was really terrified. I was really, really scared. I remember, but the story about this one is that there's this man and his family. They have this long lost relative that died. They are the closest relative that could inherit his properties. Almost got everything, like the house, the money, and all that. And so they decided to move out and move into to his uncle's house, which he inherited. And that house is not a normal house at all, no, because there lies 13 ghosts. I'm not gonna spoil it, but definitely there are 13 ghosts inside of the house, and each ghost have stories, and which is really cool. I remember when you play this DVD. Look at this CD. Yeah, look at that. I don't want to freak you out, but there you go. It's like mother and child, and I hate this. Like, I really hate the jackal. The jackal. There's like when you play this DVD, the 13 ghosts are there, and then you're gonna choose one ghost, and then they have their own backstories, which is really cool, by the way, but really scary as well. Look at that. I hate the jackal. I feel like the jackal ghost is a psychopath. I'll give this movie like 9 over 10. 9 over 10. They really did well with the prosthetics and makeup on this one, I'll tell you that. So that's all of the DVDs that we have here. This is for the thumbnail. I'm just gonna cut this part out. Alright. So we have our favorite picks. I don't have DVDs of it, but these are my favorite horror movies of all time. I'll be flashing it on the screen. So I love this is just like a fast talk and recommendations, just in case you're like looking for a horror movie to watch this October every weekend or so. So number one that I have here is Scream. I love Scream, especially the first one. Halloween, I've watched. There's like a lot of Halloween movies, but I'll suggest you watch the 1978 version. That's the first one, and the latest version, which was released in 2018. That's the new sequel from the 1978 version, so you have to watch that. Both of that. The Exorcist, this is one of the classics that I also like. It was released in 1973, something like that. The movie Exorcist was actually banned in the cinemas during its time because it was scary, terrifying to the audiences, so they banned it. Just weird. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I also love that movie because it talks about a lot of stuff. It's not like a typical horror movie with a lot of jump scares. It scares you. It scares you in a way that questions your faith or something like that. Yeah, and you feel like a little bit attached to the character, and like the drastic change that happened to her is just it hit me. those two movies. Also, you should watch that. It's about the case files of Warrens. So these all of the Conjuring movies are based off a real story. So if you're into that, you better check that out. Insidious has like I believe 4 parts already. Not really sure, but I love the first one. The first one kind of felt like a low-key movie, low-budget movie, but it kind of just blew up. And then and then the sequels have arise. Like there's like 2, and then there's 3, and the last key was the 4th one. But I personally love 1 and 2. Yeah, I love that. Monster House. Monster House is OG favorite movie of all time. Every Halloween, or even not Halloween, I always love to watch this movie. It was a stop motion. It's not a stop motion, but it's a digital. It's not like a cartoon, but it's digital. I'm not really sure, but you should go ahead and search that out. The movie Monster House. It's about 3 kids that figured out that their neighbor's house is an actual monster. Like, that's the worst possible way of explaining it, but accurate as well. But you better check this out. This is my favorite. Like, yeah, childhood. Next is Edward Scissorhands. It's starring Johnny Depp. You know, every Johnny Depp movie is very, very versatile when it comes to character. So Edward Scissorhands is a man has a hand of scissors. It's not scary at all. It's not scary, but he has this creepy vibes, love story vibe. If you're into that, it's starring Johnny Depp, Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder is from Stranger Things. Give it a try. I love Tim Burton. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed these horror movies. Everything that I told you are my favorite horror movies and my recommendations, just in case you were looking